I'm Christopher Bokovoy, the Food Rescue Coordinator for the Gallatin Valley Food Bank, a program of the HRDC in Bozeman, Montana. We pride ourselves in filling in the gaps. We do everything from running a homeless shelter out here, the warming center, to, of course, the food bank. Our work is to accomplish two main missions. The first is to feed people. That's our main goal. And the second is to reduce food waste. That's where food rescue plays a huge, seen a huge increase in the need for our services, especially when we went from our old location to our new space or marketplace. We've been averaging about 80 to 100 households a day. And that's households, not individuals, with about 7,000 pounds of food going out our door in our hours. It's incredible. This year, thus far, we've been averaging about 86,000 pounds of food per month, which comes down to about 2,800 pounds a day. So that is a great baseline for making sure that we have enough food to stock our shelves. Food rescue lays the foundation for us to be able to do that. Success when it comes to food rescue is having enough for everyone that's coming to our door. We're not having to be really, really strict with our limits, and we never have to question if we'll have enough for everybody. We focus on consumption in the retail side, working closely with our local grocers, restaurants, trying to salvage any food that is either out of date so they can't sell it, but is still good for people to eat, and try to do all we can to keep as much as we can out of the landfill. Last year, of all the hundreds of thousands of pounds of food that comes through our doors, less than 1% actually ends up going to the trash. Everything else either goes out to feeding people or our pig farmers, because every now and then we get things that we can't stock on the shelves because the packaging is just too damaged or it's just out of date and doesn't fit our guidelines. And that goes to our pig farmers or it's composted. A lot of our grocery stores hate having to throw stuff away. And if they know that we can take it, they're more than happy to give it to us. And then we take that and we feed people, which is always good. Personally, I'm doing my best to work myself out of a job. If we can get people to the point where no one in our community actually needs to rely on food banks, then that is success. For our current food rescue network right now, we've got it pretty well dialed in. For as long as we have enough drivers to drive the routes, we've got things down to a science. The challenges that food banks especially are facing with having to be more creative with our funding. One thing I think is particularly exciting was now that we can't sort of rely on our partners in government to fund the work that we're doing, becoming more and more independent and trying to reduce our reliance on federal funding, I think is a really cool shift that we're seeing in this sector. I think one of the biggest challenges that our programs face, a lack of awareness of our program, how it works, what we do, and food rescue does play a very important part in that. To overcome that challenge is by having our trucks with Gallatin Valley Food Bank out in the food community, our volunteers out there being able to talk with people. I've had some great conversations with members of our community parked outside in wind and rain outside of a wind code. It's always really cool to be seen and improve community's awareness of our programs with all kinds of different food purchasing programs being cut. As a result of that, people are more aware of our programs. And if we can direct that concern to, hey, here's how you can help. In food rescue, one of the best partnerships you can have is with your store's receiving clerks. I know it's not really something we think of too often. If you have a good relationship with your store manager, store directors, that's great. They're the ones who make the decisions. But ultimately, When it comes down to the logistics, the staff that's getting donations ready for us comes down to the receiving clerk. They're the ones that are put in charge of making sure that that runs smoothly. I don't think I can stress enough how important it is now more than ever to focus on our relationships with each other. The Gallatin Valley Food Bank, we're well suited to be a hub for everyone, not just our other food banks in the valley, but other nonprofits, just because we have such a huge space now. And we're going to be much stronger if we work together. Our space can be very competitive because we're all trying to share the same resources. I know we have more capacity here, not just because we have a warehouse where we have a huge fleet of vehicles at our disposal that some of our other nonprofits don't have. We already have established relationships with a lot of the grocery stores out here and some restaurants. A lot of nonprofits don't already have that. So using our existing relationships and finding ways that we can help each other. If they succeed, we succeed, which means as a community, we all succeed. Here at the HRDC, we have all kinds of different programs that go through our organization, and the food bank's just one of them. In the past, we've been really bad at communicating with each other and finding out ways to help each other. And now that we're all under the same roof and we all see each other every day, that's helped bridge the gaps between our programs, which makes it a lot easier for us to do more for our customers, our clients, the people that we serve. Some of the collaborations I'm most proud of is with our other nonprofits, and especially the Bounty and the Bridgers, which is MSU's on-campus food pantry, being able to connect them with some of the larger grocery stores here so that they can expand their operation, using the relationships that we currently have and relying on each other and finding new ways that we can help each other. Like continue doing the work that we're doing and also continue to do more despite having less. Learning to lean into our current moment and lean on each other a little bit more so we can keep helping people in our community. Having better connection between production and consumption, specifically on the retail side of things, to reduce waste, close that gap between overproduction, the end to the USDA's local food purchasing program, ended up limiting our ability to buy fresh produce from local farmers. One thing I'd like to see out of our food system is a better relationship between food banks and farms out here. I know a lot of food waste comes from product that doesn't even make it on the truck to go to the grocery stores. So that it's just left there because it doesn't have value and it costs money to figure out the logistics. And then using our resources, our fleet, our warehouse to keep that secondary product from going to waste and actually going to feed people. I think finding a way to do our local food purchasing program on our own without having to rely on anyone else other than our relationships out here in our community. Do the work. Every day I ask myself, what can I do that I'm not currently doing? What can seem as an overwhelming lack of resources and support, taking stock of what you have and making the most of it is really the best thing that I think you can do. And you don't have to have much, believe me. You just have to do what you can with what you have where you are. Really is that simple.